Look at the sheer volume of construction happening today. Every piece of steel and yard of concrete carries a carbon footprint, and the demand for materials that minimize that footprint is accelerating rapidly. This chart shows the global green building materials market. We are looking at a jump from $316 billion in 2025 to $922 billion by 2035. That is a massive economic reorganization. Mandates like LEED v5, New York's Local Law 97, and the Buy Clean Act have turned sustainability from a marketing choice into a hard legal requirement for developers. This puts architectural and procurement teams under intense pressure. They now must quantify the embodied carbon of every element in their design before breaking ground. Carbon tracking is now a mandatory financial and legal liability. If you fail to track it accurately, you risk fines, failed audits, and the viability of your entire project. So the AEC industry is scrambling for software to solve this. But there is a widespread assumption that a single tool is going to magically handle the entire compliance and procurement puzzle. Most teams immediately point to Building Transparency's EC3, or one-click LCA, as their default carbon tracking solutions. EC3 is phenomenal at what it does. It serves as an open-source data layer. As you can see here in this competitor profile, it is the largest free database globally for cataloging environmental product declarations, or EPDs. But look down at the weaknesses. EC3 is explicitly not a procurement tool. It gives you passive data. It cannot negotiate a price, and it cannot secure a supplier to actually deliver the concrete to your site. That's the gap GreenChainz is built to fill. It operates as the execution layer, integrating directly into the EC3 database, rather than competing against it. Think of GreenChainz as the missing buy button for the EC3 ecosystem. It takes passive carbon data and converts it into actionable physical procurement. Let's evaluate the trade-offs of using EC3 alone versus combining it with GreenChainz across the workflow. In the data phase, relying solely on EC3 gives free access to verified EPDs and lifecycle assessments. Both columns check perfectly. The trade-off of stopping there is that you are left with a massive data dump. Your team still has to manually cross-reference that data and hunt through Excel spreadsheets to find actual suppliers. GreenChainz introduces the interception phase. It embeds its plugin directly into Autodesk Revit and Forma workflows. At the exact moment an architect selects a high-carbon building element, the proprietary swap engine fires. It queries the EC3 database to instantly surface a low-carbon, verified alternative. The primary trade-off here is operational. Design teams must adapt their workflow to make procurement-level decisions much earlier, during conceptual design. But making that shift means active interception. You stop high-carbon, high-liability specifications before they reach contractors. Now let's look at the procurement phase. Historically, turning a design specification into a live supplier quote is where the friction peaks. The GreenChainz workflow allows you to drop your bill of materials directly into the system to instantly generate structured requests for quotation, bypassing manual data entry. These RFQs are automatically enriched with carbon data and routed to verified suppliers. Contrast that with legacy networks. As noted here, traditional bidding methods rely on a spray and pray approach, resulting in low bid response rates. By automating this routing, GreenChainz provides a significant speed advantage, effectively eliminating the typical 3-day quote cycle for general contractors. The mandatory trade-off for procurement teams is trusting the system. They must rely on a new, algorithmically curated supplier ecosystem instead of their established legacy Rolodex. Automating the procurement phase completely restructures the transaction timeline. What used to be a multi-day waiting game becomes an execution that takes minutes. The final hurdle in the material lifecycle is compiling the massive amount of compliance paperwork required for LEED certification and local regulatory mandates. If a team relies strictly on EC3 for this, they face significant manual labor and billable hours hunting down, downloading, and formatting individual EPDs and specification sheets. GreenChainz automates this process entirely. Its submittal generator packages all the CSI master format spec sheets and corresponding EPDs into a single, formatted, instant download. The primary commercial trade-off here is access. While the EPD lookup is free, high-volume exporting of these automated submittal packs sits behind a paid SaaS subscription tier. Looking at our completed matrix, the relationship is clear. EC3 provides the essential data intelligence, but GreenChainz handles the heavy lifting of execution, supplier connections, and compliance defense. To figure out what your team needs, we map these platforms to specific job titles. For sustainability researchers, stick to EC3. The data layer is all you need. For design architects, adopt the GreenChainz Revit plugin, making decisions inside your native modeling environment. The return on investment for an architect is pure risk aversion. Using a defensibility score ensures your specifications survive value engineering and protects your firm from being sued over failed compliance audits. Your specific job role, whether you are analyzing a theoretical building or legally signing off on a physical one, determines whether you need a data tool or an execution tool. For general contractors and estimators, adopt the GreenChainz drop-to-quote workflow in Excel and your web browser. The return is purely operational. You eliminate the 3-day wait for supplier quotes and cut out the consultant fees spent hunting for EPD data. And for material suppliers, join the GreenChainz Verified Supplier Hub. This allows you to bypass legacy gatekeeping and intercept active RFQs directly from the architect specifying them. EC3 and GreenChainz work together as a single operational circuit. EC3 handles the environmental data, while GreenChainz manages the actual quotes and specifications. In an industry now defined by strict, unyielding environmental mandates, survival requires both the intelligence to know a material's carbon impact and the mechanical execution to actually buy it.